Hey, NERFD Blitzers, welcome back to the channel. We have a review today of the buffed Hellcat. Was buffed 7.5 update just last night. And got three good games to show you to discuss the buff and the implications. So I'll chat a little more about the buff dynamics, etc. during the games. And we got three games today by Bane, myself, and Lek, who have all mastered it today. But take a look at the table up there. You can see the differences. A huge buff in DPM. Up to 2435 is what I get with all my equipment loaded, etc. Using a gun rammer, which you should use with this tank. It's got a terrific pen. 2435 is absolutely fantastic. You can also see a major buff in the speed of the Hellcat. The information on BlitzStars is wrong, so I'm not going to look through it. I can just tell you this thing is gone OP. So this is Bane. He is in Port Bay, which is literally the exact same battle I have in the third match here, and I think almost the exact same spot. Hellcat, as you know, has -10 gun depression. It has top speed of 65, and now it's faster and it traverses. It also has, so other than OP speed, it's got incredible pen. The penetration of the AP is like 175. The APCR is a 243. This is a tier 6, mind you. And it's got HE pen of 45. So when you're facing tier 5s and 6s, you can HE just about everybody somewhere, maybe except for the big heavies. And that is just amazing. It's also got 0.297 dispersion, which is just ridiculously good. It's got, and that allows you just to an aim time. The aim time that I see on here is 1.54 on BlitzStars. It's got the best aim time. So you have a terrific cannon. You see Bane using it there to hammer that SU-152. And it really is. I mean, I think that Wargaming has lost their minds once again and completely overbuffed this tank. I'm not quite sure why, if it's adjusting for something. Now, the armor on the Helsing remains to be relatively terrible. It's got an open turret. You'd expect that, as this Annihilator just does a drive-by. And look at the dispersion and the aim time on that, on Bane shooting this Annihilator. This is one of those few tanks also that I think you could actually, I've been shooting Annihilators all day today. With the APCR pen, you could really hammer them. So, and it's got great alpha. I mean, one of the things that I love about the Hellcat is your alpha, is a 225 with APCR, 190 with AP, and 270 with HE. So you've got a lot of alpha for a tank that moves this quick and has -10 gun depression. Again, though, I think people, sometimes rely on the armor here, and you can't. I did get 2 good bounces in my game, which was relatively surprising. But you can see Bane is just sitting there. I think what this essentially has done for this tank is created an incredible medium. In fact, I don't know that there's a better medium out there in tier 6. And in fact, it's not a bad tier 7 medium, except the DPM is a little lower. Tier 7 mediums have really, really good DPM and relatively terrible pen for the most part, and terrible cannons at the top of that. So anyway, back to this game. It's getting good here. We have Bane's been doing all kinds of damage. He's got 2399. This, by the way, was Bane's. Bane was #1 in the world for a bit this morning with this damage. You see a T29 is left. The T29 clearly is coming over. He is just about full health. And Bane, I don't know what happened with that shot. Looked just like it got a little bit sideways. Bane pops him in the side of the turret. Not a lot of tier 6s can do that. And he is shooting him, as you can see, from 225 meters and just doing all kinds of badness. The Gravedigger decides to go face hug the T29. Not necessarily a terrible strategy, but he is not accounting for the other player and gets hammered there in the rear. So Bane's doing what Bane does, frankly, best, is he's just hanging back. And there's the other SU-152 who tore apart the Gravedigger from the rear. And he, as you can see, is 1,000 hit points full. Bane's at 3177. I don't know exactly how many Bane. I think Bane gets about half of these. The Gravedigger does his part here. And this SU just completely doesn't pay attention. But just notice the reload. I mean, you're just pounding this thing out. 5.5 seconds is just ridiculous for this type of alpha in tier 6. I'd be happy in tier 7 to have this kind of alpha in DPM. There goes the SU-152. Bane does 3578 damage and just tears the other team apart using the speed of the Helsing. The craziest part about the buff is the speed buff. I mean, this thing absolutely did not need a speed buff. I mean, it's just ridiculous. 1258 base is good for a mastery for sure. Terrific game by Bane. I think using the cat as it was meant to be used. Lek uses it a bit differently here. And I played with, we're a Faust. I played with Renee today, aka Rambo. And Rambo was using it, and I think Lek uses it a bit more aggressively. And I can tell you, Renee was throwing up 1800s easily, 1800 damage games, no problem, by being super aggressive with it. In fact, I was the one farming, if you can believe that. And I couldn't, there wasn't any damage, no meat left in the bone there. Renee just tore everyone apart. My one mastery was the only game that I got a chance to really let this thing unleash this thing. I still play it very conservatively. I don't like the armor profile of the Hellcat, and I don't like to get it to a place where you can get HE. You can get HE'd, get an HE shell into you in a lot of places on the Hellcat. When I see this thing, and the armor did not get buffed. When I see this thing with most tanks, I switch to HE. Just this in the T60 Type 64. There's HE magnets, but look at the speed, and this thing is not a. It's not a TD should not be able to do this, and Lek makes this look really easy with the traverse and the overall speed of the Helsing. Well done there. So 777 damage. It's a 6-on-5 right now, and the enemy team is capping D, so there's a little bit of a cap problem. There goes the Easy 8. Lek pops him and leaves him with 25 hit points and finishes him off with a beautiful shot there with APCR, which I found to be a little bit unnecessary, Lek. I don't know why you're doing it. Hey, a note for those of you who are watching. Bane has passed on a warning that they did not buff the ammo for this. So if you are running the Hellcat, think through what you're shooting. I think Lek has accidentally just left it on APCR there, but you're going to need to conserve and use all weapons. So if you can shoot HE, shoot HE. If you need APCR, shoot APCR. Don't waste your shells. You could run out. And I think Bane said he was left with 5 HE shells on his match. So we got a 3-on-3 now. Points are not looking great. 521 versus 349, and they're capping B. So Lek here has got to get a little bit more aggressive and get his teammates to help. But the matchup looks doable. We got ARL on Lek's team that I think can help a lot here, along with a Comet versus yet an Annihilator. I mean, what would a tier 7 battle be today without a Smasher and Annihilator? It doesn't even happen anymore. And the Tiger that was trying to cap B, that was a really big mistake. And Lek, if you think about the way you played this, Lek did it perfectly. I mean, there's no reason to go anywhere but here. Look at the aim time, and Lek that was a little bit unfortunate there. I mean, this has got a terrific cannon. You don't need to go press up against. That's where this thing is going to go wrong with people who got it buffed. They're just going to go start face hugging and smashers. This thing doesn't have the armor profile that you can do that. If you do that, you're going to get absolutely destroyed and wrecked. And I wouldn't brawl with it versus mediums either. I think it's still not a brawler. The turret traverse is better, and the hull traverse will help the turret traverse, obviously. But ultimately, it is not a brawler. It's not a tank that you are going to get a lot out of using in a brawl type situation. And frankly, you've got 2,500 damage. I mean, this is going to be the ultimate flanker. I think it's a flanking light, flanking light TD / flanking light tank. I actually turned off the camo net and turned on the spotting. It's got some spotting capabilities and decent, it's got decent, good enough, I'd say, camo. It's 266 is the view range with that on. That's probably optional. This Gravedigger is clueless. I have no idea what the hell this guy was doing. I think he was just trying to cap. We'll look at Lek, wait for him. That was a very unfortunate bounce. I thought he would have gotten that there. The Comet is trying to decide whether he should cap B, while this noob caps C after capping B. Lex had enough of this, and he is going to go show this guy what the new Hellcat can do, and he, of course, misses yet another shot. A little bit unfortunate. Lek pounds him there, gets another one in there, takes one. I mean, that's the thing with that Gravedigger. You can't snipe with the Gravedigger. Your alpha's 90 per shot. This Gravedigger could have torn Lek apart. And you see, you still need to use APCR there, and when he did, shot him right in the cheek. Listen, not that many tanks can pop a Gravedigger in the cheeks that quickly anyway. So really well done there. And here comes a Gravedigger. He does get Lek here for 2 shots, 3 shots, 4 shots, 5 shots, 6 shots. But Lek backs up finally. Had the HP to spare, not much. Lek bounces another one. I would say Lek was firing on the move an awful lot. I would avoid doing that with the Hellcat to the extent possible. But nonetheless, 2405 damage, 3 kills, 1126 base. I may have read the wrong run there, so Lek, you may not have done quite that well. That may have been your tune partner. But nonetheless, we will move on, and you get to see me play with Renee once again in Port Bay, and I'm going to the exact same spot as Bane did there. I got my team there for once. By the way, one thing I would point out, definitely supercharge the Hellcat. You have great aim time. The velocity unsupercharged is actually quite low, 700 odd or 853 on your AP and it's got a very high loss over distance. So this is a tank you want to absolutely supercharge. I would calibrate as well. Excuse me, I would use a rammer, and I would also refine with the gun. Why not get that dispersion below 0.3? This game, I'm here at Port Bay. Sarah got one shot off, and I had this Type 58 on here. Renee actually, you know, this guy was a nice guy, but he was the only one who went town after we called, you know, over here, and then started chatting about what tanks he has. Renee was entertaining him. I was too busy shooting people and did not get into what type of tank do I have in my garage discussion. So I did not pound. We already cleared one. Did not get a shot at that Churchill. Churchill 7 is a very, very good armored tank, and I shot AP there. Big mistake. Should have shot HE. I corrected that here, and you can see I got 309 roll. I probably would have cleared him with 2 HE shots, so that just goes to show you can definitely need to use the right ammo here. And then you're seeing that Churchill. I just keep hitting this Churchill 7 from 250 meters. That is no easy work, and I was about to shoot him there, and then the JG came up. I think I got that little weasel there. And then here come the Steves. I think this is Steve, not the Chat. I meant to check that, but I forgot. Here they come, 2 Steves, just pushing up the hill, about 3 minutes late. We just annihilate him, basically. Ammo Rex injured. The 30D clears him there, and then I enjoy shooting him right in the face. I believe 2 times to clear him. And honestly, if you're in an STRV, whatever, Chat, Steve, you have no business poking your turret out anywhere. At this point, I'm at 2,000 damage. I actually kind of could smell the mastery brewing and wanted to get a little bit more aggressive. You can see I've taken many shots. I wasn't too scared of the KV-2 with the ZS1 or whatever that cannon, stupid cannon's called. And we had this thing wrapped up. But hopefully you're seeing with this tank, you know, with minus 10 gun depression, I mean, this is the ultimate flanker. I'm just going to find a flank and farm. And the speed and everything else you got, this thing is just freaking crazy. I think it's crazy good. I think it'll probably get nerfed. So get on it while you can. It may not actually, who the hell knows. Get on it while you can. Get the mastery today. If you haven't played it, go for it. It is incredibly good. Another day we'll discuss why the hell they had to nerf the Jackson while buffing this thing. That is the dumbest thing ever, but wargaming, you can only do so much. Thanks for watching, guys. Please sub to the channel.